So I've started this thing a couple times now. I actually started it last night. Tonight is Thursday. I'm recording for the Friday release. I actually started this last night, and I don't know, I got about 9 minutes into it, and I just wasn't feeling it. I'm not really feeling it tonight, to be honest with you. I know I've said that a few times, and then I end up doing okay, but this could be super short. I shouldn't have eaten, guys, before I started this thing. I still got some on my plate over here, but I threw down 3 eggs, and I had a couple smoked sausages that I cooked as well. Put some, I put on there, put a few slices of provolone on there, kind of just made a little omelet out of it, but so it's got me kind of phlegmy. I apologize. What can you do? Phlegm is a part of life. Maybe that'll be the name of this episode, the phlegmy episode. What's going on? It is, as always, it's 1:03 a.m. in the morning, Friday morning. I decided I was going to just recycle an episode for tomorrow. We got, I'll do a little ad, actually, at Homegrown Brewhouse, 117 South Main Street, downtown Somerville. We got the Paul Stone Project. Paul Pietrofesso will be in the house tomorrow night. It's the 4th Friday of the month. He plays every 4th Friday. He actually came up. Well, let's finish the ad. So, yeah, he's going to be doing that. I was going to recycle one of his episodes. He's been on the show twice, the podcast twice, and I was going to recycle one of his episodes for tomorrow. And I said, you know what? Let's just, come on, man. It's been a little while since you've done an episode. Let's do one. Let's figure out something to talk about. I really don't have anything to talk about. I don't have anything written down. I don't even have a note in my phone this time. I'm slacking, guys. I don't know what I'm doing over here. I've got some guests that I want to get in. We're just having trouble coordinating times with my schedule. I've had a lot of appointments here lately. Excuse me again. Wait a minute. I'm backing up. Or I'm not backing up. I'm going forward in a different direction. So Paul actually came out Wednesday night. We did the... Well, let's just get back. I'll come back to Paul. Man, I'm all over the place already, and I'm not even 3 minutes in. Yeah, I've been trying to get some guests in here, and there's been some scheduling conflicts between myself and some of the other people, between me and some of the other people. And sometimes, you just can't get together with things, man. I've had a bunch of appointments. I'm running all over town, downtown, uptown, crosstown, all over town to some different appointments. My car's been out of whack. I've been trying to get that fixed. Working, my normal shifts at Homegrown. And then we had a special event this past Sunday. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. The Phlegmy episode. That's what, definitely, this is the name of the episode. I got another thing coming up this Sunday. It's both my brothers and my father have birthdays in January, January 20th, 24th, and 27th. So we're having a little get-together at their house on Sunday. So Sunday is one of the days I kind of use the podcast, Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I now have this, I'll come back to Paul here. I now have this event on Wednesday nights that's taking up my Wednesday podcast times. Where it's Route 66 Roulette. I think I've talked about it at least once. God, what is wrong with my throat? Let me take a sip of this beer, and we'll talk about that here in a second as well. So, Route 66 Roulette, basically it's an interactive open mic. This past week was the 3rd week that we've done it. I think we're starting to gain a little bit of traction. We've got a couple regulars that have shown up the past couple weeks, so that's a good thing. If we can get people to come in consistently on a week-to-week basis, that's going to be good. So what happens is when you walk in the door, we stand some cards out in front of you from a deck of cards. You pick a card, you'll get a number, 1 or ace actually, through ace and the 1 are the same thing. It's number 1. Goes all the way up to a queen, because we have 12 numbers on our roulette board. So a 10 obviously is 10, the jack becomes an 11, and the queen becomes a 12. So you'll get a card, and you'll come in, you'll sit down, order your beers, get something to eat, whatever, and then we have musicians come in from around town, local musicians. Of course, they're local, they're around town. They could be traveling, they could be coming through, who knows? They might not be local. But we'll have, we're hopefully, we'd like to have 3 musicians on a Wednesday night at a minimum. We would prefer to have 5, just timing over a 2-hour period kind of works out better, 3 songs or so per person. And you just rotate through one time with 5 people. And what happens is, I'm hosting it along with Fleming Moore, Craft Conversations and Bummerville Amphitheater are hosting it, but we are the host up front in the seats, and I'll spin a wheel. Let's say Fleming's up there at the moment as a musician. I spin the wheel, it lands on the number 4. This week's number 4 is the Cars. So Fleming now has to decide whether or not he can play a song about the Cars, or if he knows one. If he knows it, then can he play it? If he successfully plays something by the Cars, and you are sitting at the bar or at a table and you had the number 4 on your card, then you get a free sample of beer of anything on the wall. So samples range from anywhere from $2.50 up to, hell, there's one sample on there right now, I think it's $6.50. So you get a chance to, you're winning a few bucks basically. And it's been pretty successful, I think. We of course need more musicians, we need more patrons. That's always going to make it even better. But it got a little fun this past Wednesday for sure. Paul, that's why I was coming back to Paul. Paul Stone showed up. He was one of the musicians. We had Tanner showed up, but he had to take off. He works on the side for Uber Eats, so he got a phone call when he was there to go deliver some food, so he had to go do that. Mr. Kevin Flowers was there. He played some. Quite a few people. We had a good time. And we had some good music. And Paul is going to be back tomorrow night. Like I said, the 4th Friday of the month there at Homegrown, 117 South Main Street. So get out there and support Paul, support Homegrown, support local music, support small craft beer breweries from around the state, and a few of them from out of state as well. It's going to be a good time. Paul, he couldn't tell me last night who he was bringing with him. I think he's definitely bringing Roger. He plays the bass with him. It'll be Paul, and who knows? They might have some percussion. They might have, who knows what Paul brings with him. Sometimes it's just himself, just him, just Paul. All right, so speaking of that, as I continue to clear my throat and just irritate everybody with that, Route 66 Roulette for January 30th, which is this coming Wednesday. Here's the lineup. If you know any musicians, if you're a musician yourself, come on out, take a chance at the Wheel of Misfortune, and see if you can tackle one of these artists. We kind of recommend, I put the list out a week in advance, and we kind of recommend with the artist to try and figure out at least half of the list. Try and have a song from at least half of the playlist, 50% of it, because you got a 50-50 chance to land on one of those numbers on the wheel. So you got a 50-50 shot of being successful and helping a patron get a free beer. That's what it's all about, really. Here is the list for this week. Yes, Hall & Oates, Huey Lewis and the News, The Cars, David Bowie. I knew that. I was just messing with you. The Police, Billy Joel, ELO, which is Electric Light Orchestra, I believe. Let's look that up. I believe that's what it is. ELO band. Let's put in band. Electric Light Orchestra. They're an English rock band formed in Birmingham in 1970. So there you go. That's one of the bands. The Clash, Eric Clapton, The Smiths, and Cheap Trick. That's the list I put together for this week. So if you're a musician, if you know a musician, get that list out there to them. You can also find it on Facebook. I posted up there. We have a Route 66 Roulette event page up there at Homegrown. So get out there and check it out, man. Come out and listen to some music and see these guys try their hands at these different bands, see if they're successful, and maybe win some free drinks. All right, speaking of drinks, let's dive into that. All right, now we're moving right along. I really don't know what else to talk about after I talk about this beer, but we're moving right along. I want to eat some more of this sausage, but I don't want to be eating and smacking and making more obnoxious noise on the mic than I already am. The beer I am drinking, I picked this up on the way home from Harris Teeter. $9.99 a 12 pack, or a six. Oh, I wish it was $9.99 a 12 pack. $9.99 a 6-pack. This is from 21st Ammendment Brewery, which is out of San Francisco, California. Started in 2000. This is a tasty IPA, and I would agree with that name, but that's the actual name of the IPA. It's called Tasty. I like it. It's got a nice West Coast bitterness to it. I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of over. I'm going to talk about it. I'm kind of over the New England style IPAs, man. It's just way oversaturated. And at the time when they came out, I was over West Coast IPAs. They were kind of oversaturated, and that's really all you could get. I mean, you didn't have a whole lot of other options, really. So now they've come out with these hazies, the New England style. They're good, but I'm over them, man. There too many people are making them, and I'm glad people are coming back out and reversing and going back to the West Coast. Of course, California. It's the West Coast, so that's kind of what they specialize in. But this is definitely a classic. Reminds me a lot of, oh my goodness, I can't even think of the name. Not Green Door, not Green Man. What is? I don't know. I can't think of the name of the brewery. But it's it's probably my favorite West Coast brewery, and I think they have some of the best West Coast style IPAs. But that's what this is. I'm trying to pause to see if I can figure out the name of it, but I can't. It'll come to me. Here is the description for the Tasty IPA. It's got 6.8% ABV, alcohol by volume. It's got 70 IBUs. I can taste those guys. It's made in collaboration with homebrewer Mike Tasty McDole. Tasty IPA drinks easily, but isn't necessarily easy drinking. The hop-forward creation, spawned from test batches of Tasty's own homebrews, features Citra and Mosaic lupulin powders with Equinaut hop pellets. It's a quenching IPA with a clean bitterness and a ton of hop aroma and flavor. It serves as a reminder to all home brewers that dreams do come true. Fantasies can become reality, and big burly beer dudes are a thing of beauty. So there you go. Tasty IPA. I would recommend it. I would give it a 4.0, I believe, out of 5. It's got an average rating right now of 3.74. I'd take it up a notch. I think it's really, really good. I haven't really had a bad beer from 21st Amendment, honestly. And really, the majority of, those San Francisco-based, San Diego-based breweries do a fantastic job. You really can't find a bad beer. That's not true. You can find a bad beer, but in my travels out there to the West Coast, it's been hard to find one, really. So that's the beer. What else? I do have some Maker's Mark on the table. I like the little whiskey at times. Matter of fact, got a couple guys that I want to get on the podcast. I've reached out to one of them, and he's supposed to be talking to the other guy, but they've kind of started not really a whiskey bar. It's a bar within a restaurant that's already established. But what they've done is they want to open a whiskey bar, and that's why I want to sit down and talk with them, because I don't know all the details. But Peter used to work upstairs at the Ice House there, and his partner Malachi used to work at Mellow Mushroom. I'm not sure if he still does or not, the bartender over there, but I talked to Malachi one time about it, and told him my dreams of opening a whiskey bar at one point. Right next door to Homegrown, actually, was the space I was looking at, but a damn vape shop opened up in there before I could even get into the building and take a look at it and put a bid on it or whatever. But so I was talking to him about that, and he's like, "Oh man, that's weird you mentioned that, because me and a buddy of mine want to open one as well, and we've looked at a few places, and we actually get together and experiment with different cocktails and make different whiskey drinks and what have you." So what they've done is they have partnered up. They don't have their own spot, but they are bringing that vision to downstairs at the Ice House at the bar there. So I believe it's only on Friday and Saturday nights right now. They're creating their special brand of cocktails. I think it starts at 10:30 p.m. and it goes until 2 a.m. in the morning. Don't quote me on that. That's why I want to get these guys on and get all the facts. But I think it's Friday and Saturday nights from 10:30 to 2 o'clock, 10:30 p.m. to 2 o'clock the next morning, that they will be creating special cocktails over there. So I might go over there tomorrow after I get off work. It depends on if I run before I go to work. What I've been doing lately is I've been running after work on my Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, because it just gives me a different look. It's kind of sucking because like tonight, I'm on my feet for 9 plus hours on a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. And I don't know, it's just affecting my Achilles tendons, man. I guess because I'm standing, I'm not doing a lot of flexing, and my Achilles and my calves are getting kind of tight. I stretch throughout my shift, everything, really. I stretch out everything I can, legs and arms throughout the shift. But, man, tonight, it was rough. I mean, it took me a good quarter mile before my Achilles on my right side was not screaming at me and feeling like it was just going to rip in half. So, I don't know. What was I even saying? Oh, that I might go over to downstairs at the Ice House, check out these guys' whiskeys, and talk to them in person about getting on this podcast to see if we can talk about it. But if I go run after work tomorrow, I may not go in there because, I get all sweaty and whatever, and I got to change clothes back again. I might get over there. I might not. I do have Saturday to try and make it as well. So maybe one of those 2 nights I'll go there and talk to those guys and get more details, and I'll fill you in the next time that we talk. But, yeah, the running thing, it's going okay. I'm on... not today because it's now morning time, but yesterday I finished day 19, so I'm almost into the 20s, and that's consecutive, 20 days or 19 days consecutively. My rule is I have to do at least a mile for it to count. I've gotten up to a little over 2 miles. I'm slowly working in this thing. I've had a little hamstring strain that I was dealing with, and now I got this Achilles thing, so I'm working through it. Just got to get the tissue just has to get tougher before I start increasing the mileage. I don't want to get an injury that's going to put me out of this thing for running 365 days consecutively. So I'm trying to be smart with it. I don't want to push myself too hard, but I want to push myself hard, if that makes sense. But if I push myself too hard, then I'm going to put myself out of commission, and then the whole thing's down the drain. So I'm trying to be smart about it. Once my tissues kind of get built back up again, then I'll start getting out there and doing some heavier loads and heavier work. My son, Alec, is now on day 63 today, I think. Let's see if he's made a post. And he is at the Daily Runner, DALEY Runner, on Instagram. So follow that guy, keep up with him, keep him honest, make some comments. He takes funny pictures, he makes funny posts, but he also makes sense up there, and he's motivating people. He's attempting to run 365 straight, or he's going to die trying, is what he said. running at breakneck speeds. The run he did yesterday was day 65, and he ran 13.12 miles. Average pace was a 7:56, 7 minutes and 56-minute mile. Fastest pace was a 7-minute mile. So he's killing it out there. Day 65. Again, I won't catch him because he's already ahead of me. I can't catch him. There's no way to catch up. But I'm gonna try and match him. 365 days. Who knows? He might do 366 because he's crazy. But anyway, I'm about out of stuff to talk about. Like I said, I had nothing written down. I'm kind of just figuring out stuff. I had the trivia guys in there again tonight. Tonight is Thursday. This will come out Friday morning. Trivia guys came in. Not a big crowd tonight, but it was a decent crowd. 6 of them I think came in. Sometimes we've had up to 16 to 18 people I think. This might be the smallest crowd that's come in, but they said they had a small crowd at trivia anyway. But they continue to come in and support homegrown, and I appreciate that. And they continue to come in and support local music. We had Ben Somewhere in there today, and man, he puts on a pretty good show. He's got some good stories. He talks a little bit. He kind of plays with the crowd. He knew these guys were trivia guys, so he actually started a little music trivia with them, and allowed them, one of them, to win one of his CDs that he had. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. I wish we could kind of get more of that thing going on. And speaking of that, I spoke to Justin. He runs the Wise Guy Trivia over there at Groucho's Deli. And we've been talking about trying to collaborate and do even more business-to-business deals, and bring maybe his style of trivia over to Homegrown Brewhouse on a Monday or a Tuesday. He said Monday is probably the better day for him. And I think Monday would be a good day. I got to talk to my partner over there, Caleb, and see what he thinks about it. This is not going to be free. We're going to have to pay the guy to run the show, but I think it would bring people in. I know tons of places that do trivia, from Frothy Beer to Holy City to Oak Road Brewing Company. I don't know. There's way more than that. A lot of people do trivia. Hell, Family Laurie's, Fam's Brewing Company over there, James Island does it. And I believe every single one of them pull in a huge crowd. And that's what we want. We want people to come in. We want people to have a good time. We want people to win some prizes. We want people to drink some great craft beer. And I want to help support, Justin and his endeavors with the trivia. It sounds like he does a great job with it. We're talking about maybe making it music themed, since we're trying to do a music theme there at Homegrown for the most part. We could do music trivia. I don't think we'd want to do that every time, but it's not a bad idea to do it a few times, since we do showcase local musicians. So, I don't know what's going on downstairs. There's something going on. I think Tommy's down there running the garbage disposal. Is what that sound was. But what else, guys? What can we talk about? Let's look up something here. Since we're talking about running, when I run, I put my little earbud in and I listen to. Where is my little earbud anyway? Did I put it back in my pocket? No, it's in the car. That's where it is. When I run, I listen to, or what I'm doing now, it'll change because I got 365 days to do this thing. So I'll be listening to a bunch of different things. But I listened to David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, the book he just put out last month, I believe it was. And I've already listened to it once. I have an Audible account. I got an audiobook version of it. I like the audiobook because, from what I understand, if you get the paperback copy, which is nice, you can highlight it, you can pick your favorite pieces out of it, you can dog ear pages, you can do all kind of cool stuff with a book. But the cool thing about the audiobook that he's done with his buddy, I think his name is Adam, don't quote me on that, which I don't know why you would quote me on that anyway, but I think his name is Adam. He actually narrates the book, and then at the end of the chapter, David is sitting right there with him, and he and David talk and kind of recap the chapter. And David actually adds a few more, snippets to it. So it's almost like you're getting read an audiobook, and then you're also getting a tiny podcast at the end of at the end of each chapter. So it's kind of cool. It's a very unique thing that he's done with it. I think he self-published this book because he just wanted to prove that he could do that and sell, millions of copies, which he's done. It's on a bestseller list or whatever. So he's doing what he wanted to do with it, and it's been very successful, and he's made it very unique. So if you get a chance to get it, or if you get it, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Get this book. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Go out there. I think you'll enjoy it. It's very inspirational. It's very motivational. The story of this guy's life, from where he came from to where he is now, and what he's gone through, the hardships and the tragedies and the mishaps, and oh my God, you would think this guy would have killed himself a long time ago, but not David Goggins. David Goggins is not going to kill himself. But let's look up. Let's see what he said past couple times here. We haven't talked about David in a little bit. Highly recommend his book. Highly recommend it. Ooh, there's another post 7 hours ago. Do not tell me that that's just what happened. All right. Whew. My computer screen flashed black like it had just restarted itself. So that little pause right there was me looking at the screen saying, you son of a bitch, you better not have restarted, and I've lost all this audio I just did, because I was already 26 minutes in. Oh, man. That scared the crap out of me. All right, so let's look at a couple of these that he posted here recently. Post. Here we go. All right, here's a quick little snippet. Always be prepared to readjust. Life doesn't always pan out the way you want it. Don't allow it to hijack your brain. Be open-minded to the possibilities in front of you. There's always a way. We just have to figure out the equation. That was one. Today, what do you say today? It's all about the reps. I am not saying this will work for everyone, but it definitely worked for me. As many of you know, I used to weigh 297 pounds at my heaviest and dropped to 191 pounds very quickly. A lot of people who lose a large amount of weight struggle with excess skin. I knew that could be a big problem for me as I lost the weight. So while a lot of people just do cardio to drop weight, I did cardio along with cardio weight training. I would do high reps at a very low weight with a quick tempo to keep my heart rate up. That allowed me to burn calories, add very lean muscle, and tighten the skin throughout the process. I'm not saying to do this same program because it's extremely difficult, but it truly worked for me as I had very little excess skin after I lost the weight. Truth be told, I was actually dropping weight at a very fast rate by doing these workouts with extremely high repetitions. 6 years later, I brought this routine back and incorporated some sets with 500 reps at a very light weight. While not my intention, I later realized that it built up my strength and endurance like no other, and in turn helped my running tremendously. The challenge is finding a gym that allows you to own a machine long enough to get in those kinds of reps. To make sure this is clear, each set consisted of 100 reps, rest for 3 to 5 minutes, 200 reps, rest for 3 to 5 minutes, and then 300 reps. Your only rest time during the reps is 10 seconds while holding the weight. Don't let the weight drop. So that's what he posted 7 hours ago. So he's go out there to Facebook, follow him on Facebook. He puts a video with every one of these as well. He does a 1-minute video. That way you can post it on Instagram too. So he does both of them. So I would highly recommend you get out there and follow David Goggins. I would highly recommend you get out there and get his book. I would highly recommend you follow my younger son, the Daily Runner, on Instagram. And hell, get out there and follow my oldest son. He's an athletic trainer with a degree in fitness wellness at Paragon Athletics out there in Flagstaff, Arizona. He also is very motivational and does some killer workouts. And he posts them as Dale's Fit on Instagram. So check out both of those guys. I think you'll get inspired to do something. If you're not inspired by me, get inspired by these younger dudes because they're killing it and doing way more than I can do at this moment. But I'm going to get there. I'm going to catch up with them because we're going to race together coming up here in this summer. And I'm going to put it on them. I don't think I'll put it on them, but I'm going to try my hardest. All right, I think that's it, man. I'm going to go back to eating these sausages. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces left. I'm going to finish up the other half of this beer. Might even take a swig of some whiskey. But let's recap. I already told you who to follow and book to buy and all that kind of stuff. Don't forget about Paul Stone Project. When you hear this, it'll be tonight, Friday night, 8 to 10 at Homegrown Brew House, 117 South Main Street. Get out there and watch Paul Stone. Listen to him. You can watch him, but listen to him. We'll look at him as well. He likes that. He likes to be stared at. We got Route 66 Roulette on Wednesday nights, 7 to 9. Bring your instrument. Bring a friend. Just get there and help make this thing successful for us. I think you'll have a good time. That's every Wednesday, 7 to 9 at Homegrown. And then Thursday night, you can get over there to Groucho's Deli right down the street. I think we decided they're at 119 North Main Street. I don't know. Look it up, Groucho's Deli. Get over there on Thursday nights and play some trivia. And then head on down to Homegrown after that and listen to some more live music and eat some food, get some craft beer. All sounds like a winner, right? Okay, guys. That's all I got. The short one, the Phlegmy episode. Talk to you soon, guys. Talk to you soon.